Hey everyone, this is Zuli, your hopefully favorite Medium author and definitely favorite Medium YouTuber. I'll just go ahead and say yes. Today I want to talk about how you can find a publication for your story to live in. Whether you're a new writer, an old writer, or a medium writer, publications are a tool in your arsenal to make sure that your story is getting seen by more people or even a different group of people than it would otherwise. Let's break that down quickly. When you submit to a publication, you get access to all of that publication's followers. Now, not everyone who follows that publication might see your story, but some of them will, even if they don't follow you. This means that you have access to a pre-built audience, that somebody's done all the hard work for you already. The second reason is because publication editors have the ability to send what Medium calls letters. Letters are basically email newsletters, but it's the only way for Medium writers to notify their followers when there's a new story. Otherwise, people have to hope that the Medium algorithm will show them. So if you submit to a publication and they really like your story, they might send it out to everyone in a newsletter, and then you've got an even greater chance of reaching all of those potential new readers and followers. This is especially good if you're kind of stuck in a rut, you've only been writing about one thing so far, you want to see if you can increase your readership, and you want to make more money on Medium. This applies to most people I know. So let's dive in and talk about how to find the right publication for your story. There are two approaches here, and I'm going to go through each one in depth. Let's start by talking about the first, when you've already written a story and now you want to find a publication. The first thing is you write your story. This I can't tell you how to do. Hopefully you know how to type and you write your story that you're happy and proud about. Try to decide what 5 topics you think it fits into. Topics on Medium are how people find stories. They drive the recommendation algorithm. So topics are super important to try to fit into. Go to medium.com/topics and just go ahead and pick 5 that you think your story would fit into. Even if it's a reach, even if it's a bit of a stretch, that's what we're going for. We're stretching here. Click on each one of those topics and scroll down and see which publications come up again and again in that topic. We're doing this for 2 reasons. First of all, Medium it's full of old dead publications, and this makes it really challenging to find publications through searching. You might find the perfect publication, it has 100,000 followers, it hasn't published anything since 2017. That's super disappointing. Spare yourself this and go to the topics page, and that way you're sure to find publications that are active, that are fresh, that are publishing stories today, which means that they might publish your story today. Secondly, some publications have a relationship with Medium's curators. Curation is when a Medium curator looks at your story and says, hey, this is so good, this is really good. Everybody who's interested in X topic will be interested in this story. So they curate your story into that topic, and people who like that topic, even if they've never heard of you before, might see your story. Certain publications, like I was saying, have a relationship with the Medium curators. That means that if you get into these publications, you have a higher likelihood of being curated. So if you see relationships, the publication P.S. I Love You comes up again and again and again. This means that you have a higher likelihood of being curated in relationships if you manage to get into P.S. I Love You. So this gives you an idea of publications to aim for. Now, you should have a short list of, I don't know, maybe like 5 publications that are publishing in the topics you're interested in, that come up again and again on the curation page for that topic, that look active. Now what you want to do is find out how many followers each one has. You can do this by, the way to find the number of followers that a publication has is you go to that publication's page and go to \latest. So for example, psiloveyou.xyz/latest. You scroll down and you'll be able to see that PS I Love You has nearly 200,000 followers. That's huge. That makes it a publication that you definitely want to try to get into. Go ahead and check out more stories on that pub. See what the engagement rate is. Are people averaging like 500 claps, 1,000 claps? This kind of information is going to help you determine which of these is your reach publication, which one is your fit publication, and which one is your settle publication. Just like we're applying to college, people. On Medium, you never want to submit to more than 1 publication at a time. This is just best etiquette on Medium. You're going to apply to these sequentially. You want to apply to your stretch one first and wait for them to get back to you. The good news is most of the stretch ones have pretty strict guidelines on when you can expect to hear back. 72 hours, 48 hours is kind of the norm. So hopefully you won't have to wait too long. Go through your list of stretch, fit, and settle until you found one that works for you, that you get into, and you can get your story into that. So now you have your list. Now, the actual submission process. Unfortunately, there's no hard and fast rule for how to submit. If you're a new author to the publication, the very best thing you can do is go to Google and type in Medium, PS I Love You, submissions. Go. Or whatever publication. This will take you to their submissions page and hopefully will provide some guidance on how, what, when, where, and why even. If you can't find the submissions page or there's nothing listed there, and even if you do, but you just want to try to go for the quick win first, go ahead and go to Smedian and see if you can find that publication. A lot of publications are on Smedian and they make it super easy to be accepted just because they have a request to contribute button. So I would recommend doing both of these methods. That makes sure that no matter what, you have the highest chances of being accepted, sooner the better. If you're already accepted as a writer of the publication, in your draft, go to the top right corner, select the 3 dots, drop down, add to publication, and you'll see the list of publications that you can submit to. There it is. Now you want to submit to your stretch one first. If you don't get in there, you're fit. If you don't get in there, then you're settle, and hopefully one of them will have your story in your pub. It's worth the wait. It's worth trying to do this. It's worth trying to get your stories into a good publication. I really can't stress that enough. So let's go into version number 2. What if you have a publication in mind and you haven't written the story yet? I see this a lot for especially the editorial group on Medium. So I'm talking Human Parts, Forge, 1.0, Level, Elemental. These are really, really big publications. They have a huge following on Medium. And most importantly, they have Medium's full backing. That means that Medium will tweet them, Facebook them. I don't know what else Medium does to promote their publications, but you have the backing of Medium when you get into these. These are hard to get into. It's rare that they'll see something self-published and be like, hey, we want to pick this up. So if you want to get into those publications, the best chance is to do your research beforehand and figure out how to submit to them. So let's get into how to do that step by step. First, pick a pub. Which ones are the most interesting to you? Try to get as specific as you can here. Human Parts, which is kind of like the feel-good catch-all, is super competitive, really hard to get into, and they don't actually even accept submissions. You just have to hope that you get that tap on the shoulder on a self-published story. So let's take one like Forge, for example. Still a really high bar, but at least they're still accepting submissions, so you've already gotten in. Go ahead and figure out what the submission guidelines are. The good news is for all of these big pubs, they will have submission guidelines. They'll be very clearly laid out because they want to encourage good writers to join them. They benefit from that relationship too. So again, you're gonna go to Google, google.com, Forge, Medium, submission guidelines. Boom, you'll find what you need. Carefully read the submissions guidelines. Here, do you remember, you might have done this when you were younger, you had like a test in 5th grade that said at the very top, read all the instructions before starting. And if you were anything like me, you didn't do that and you just started filling in question number 1. Only to find that if you got to the bottom of the page, it said, do not fill in any of these questions. And you got tricked because you didn't read the instructions. I'm not saying that this is what these big publications are doing, but they're so inundated with submissions that they're looking for any reason not to accept you. You can't give them that reason. Go through the submissions guidelines step by step, read them multiple times, and make sure that you are adhering to what they're asking for in the submissions. Do they want a fully written draft? Do they just want to pitch? Do they want you to email them? Do they want to fill it through a form? The closer you can get to matching their guidelines, the better chance you're going to have of getting in. Now, read at least 5 of their stories. At least. The more the better. Take notes on what they all have in common. Is it length? Is it the tone? Is it the first person narrative? Do they all have some underlying feature that makes them kind of cohesive? Publications are not going to outwardly tell you what that is, but almost all of them have one, especially the big ones. It's your job as a writer to find out what that is and apply it to your own story that you're about to write. Once you've read at least 5, you should have some idea of what you want to write about. Make sure it's not something that they've published in the last like 4 weeks or so. This was a mistake I've made before. And then write. In both cases of writing then pub or pub then writing, follow-up is the crucial step. If they have clear guidelines and they say if you don't hear back in 3 days, assume we've passed, respect that. But if they don't, make sure to email, make sure to follow up a week after, be like, hey, I just want to make sure you received my draft. Do you have any feedback? Would I be better off publishing this on my own or somewhere else? The worst that can happen is that they ignore you or they say no outright. But the best is that they're like, yeah, actually, I've been meaning to get back to you on this. This is what I want for you to include this story in the pub. You never know until you try. Finally, and again, this is going to be the case for both strategies here, just keep trying. I did not get into Forge or Better Marketing or PS I Love You the first time I tried. I wasn't good at writing for them, and many of us aren't. That's a skill we have to learn. The more you read, the more you try, the more you apply, the better your chances are going to be. So if you try once and don't get in, you are in great company. The rest of us are right there with you. So just keep trying, keep pitching, keep writing, keep following up, and one day you will see your story in your dream publication. Okay, that's how you find a publication to pitch to. To recap, publications are super crucial to success on Medium because they're going to give your story an audience that you don't have. Plus, many of them have their own distribution methods that they might use to help promote your story for you. So it's a win-win. The only downside is you have to pitch, and sometimes that can be hard. I hope this video was helpful and that you're filled with hopefully inspiration and the courage that you need to submit to your dream publication. They are waiting for your story, they just don't know it yet. All right, best of luck to you. Hope you stay safe and happy and sane in these weird times and that you're still enjoying writing. All right, talk to y'all soon. Bye.